Hello, we are live from Radio City Music Hall. Making sure everything's good. Title's set up. I should probably tweet. Let me do that. I've been really bad about tweeting lately. Not that anyone. No, that's not the word. Not that anyone follows me on Twitter. Because y'all are lame. A couple league games going right now, which is exciting. Everything's set up. Very good. I tweeted because I'm so smart. Look at me go. Look at him go. That's a reference and a half right there. No, it's only one reference. I'm watching this league game right now. Looks like black is lost here. Very sad. Not for the white player. It's great for the white player. Very sad for the black player. We're just gonna chill, relax, wait for the crowd. Yeah, black is just lost here. Any other games going on? We got a pretty high rated game here actually. A board 1 game. What's going on in this board 1 game? We have... I don't even know what to call this. None of this is on screen. This is all for my own personal pleasure. It sort of turned into a Larson's Open. Very strange. I think the World Cup coverage is over for the day, if I'm not mistaken. Actually, I missed the last result. So if anyone knows how Yobava did in the Blitz, because that was the last series going, and I actually missed the result of that. If Yobava advanced, or if some Spanish player, I don't really know. I forget his name. Yobava was playing some Spanish GM whose name I can't remember. For some reason, the spoilers on my Reddit aren't working. Like, it won't show me spoilers, which means I can't look up Yobava's result. Very annoying. Maybe I can look it up on the sticky. FIDE's actually been doing a good job of updating their pairings website. It's been updated quite well. Erdosh won. Yeah, that's right. The Egyptian player blundered the end game. Very tough for him. Very unfortunate. But that's right. Ariantari took out David Howell. That last game by Ariantari was very good. How you doing, Archon, man? What else happened? Oh yeah, Gawain Jones went down. That was a big surprise. He lost that opening game where he had to sacrifice the exchange and couldn't hold the ending. It was a good try though. Vasil went through. Oh yeah, Hari Krishna had quite a scare. It looked like he was losing in an ending, and then he managed to scrape out this incredible draw. What are we doing today? Yeah, Lenderman. Well, Lenderman. He got a little lucky, I gotta say. Elyanov was so winning. And then the 2-0 is sort of misleading because that meant Elyanov had to play for the win the second game, so he sort of Elyanov probably could have easily drawn the second game, but he was forced to play like hyper aggressively for the win. We're going to be looking at the exchange. Queen's Gambit declined. So the tabia of the position comes about. So here's a Queen's Gambit declined position. And we're going to look at the exchange variation, which is takes. So we'll talk about that. Yeah, Lenderman. But hey, man, good. What's the saying? Like, good players are lucky. No, that's not. It's Oh God, you create your own luck. Well, that's another saying, but it's better to be lucky than good. That's what I'm trying to get at, I think. Let's see, what other results here? Oh yeah, Ponomarev got knocked out. That was a big surprise. Good job. The Indians really showing up. An Indian player knocking out Ponomarev. I've never heard of him. Sithuraman. Don't know. Ho Yifan advanced. Yep. Karyakin won in both his rapid games. Who else? I'm looking for Yobava because I actually didn't know if Yobava was through. Yobava won, okay. He won the last Blitz game. Wow, that came really close to being an Armageddon. Sithuraman? Aribon won. Yobava went through. Yeah, I just saw that. He came really close to going to an Armageddon, which is probably not what you want when you're the favorite. All right, let's get started. So we're going to be looking at the exchange Queen's Gambit decline today, which is, I think, one of the most potent variations of the Queen's Gambit declined. Yeah, but Amin, he blew it, right? So he has no one to blame but himself. So this is the Queen's Gambit declined, and we're going to be looking at the exchange variation with c takes d5. If you're interested, then I know that for the League Chess 45 League, Mr. Legilimens, I don't know how to pronounce his name. Mr. Leggy, that's what I call him, Leggy. He created a study on the version of the exchange Queen's Gambit decline with Knight f3, which is usually associated with the minority attack against this sort of Carlsbad structure. This you play b4, b5, and the knight goes to f3 to support the minority attack. But what I'm going to be looking at today is what I think is the more dynamic plane for white, which is to put the knight on e2 and expand in the center. And this can lead to a really, really dynamic play for white. I think white gets really, really good positions out of this. The only thing is, it means that on this move, you cannot play knight f3. Because if you play knight f3, then your knight's not going to e2. So that means in order to play this variation of the Queen's Gambit declined exchange, yeah, I can link this study. Give me 1 second. I just have a bunch of games in here, though. Yeah, it's not like I'm looking at a study. We're going to be looking at old Grandmaster games mostly, because that's how you learn. You look at old Grandmaster games. So yeah, you can't play knight f3 here, which means that in order to play this variation of the Queen's Gambit decline, you do have to allow the Nimzo-Indian. So black can play d5 here, but you are allowing the Nimzo-Indian defense, which is considered one of the best defenses. So just know that if you do want to play this variation, you do have to be prepared to face the Nimzo-Indian. But you're in luck. I've covered the f3 Nimzo-Indian on this channel. So if you wanted a way to play the Nimzo-Indian, just go to my YouTube channel, Chess League TV on YouTube, And there's a whole bunch of stuff on the Nimzo Indian there. Let me get this study for the chat. Come on. So this first game is a game by Botvinnik. And Botvinnik is the one who sort of created this plan in this system. And I really like looking at Botvinnik games because Botvinnik games, they just make sense. Botvinnik plays incredibly logical chess. Incredibly logical and principled chess. So like, I think Botvinnik games are great games to show to beginners. Yeah, bishop e7 is a different beast, and that's very confusing. I find people don't play bishop e7, like not really. I've never gotten that over the board. No one has ever played bishop e7 against me. So yeah, d5, and we're gonna play the exchange variation. And the nice thing about the exchange variation is White's pieces, they all make a lot of sense in this variation. The bishop comes outside the pawn chain. Okay, Black breaks the pin. e3. Castles. It might be a little bit more accurate to play c6 here. You have to play c6 at some point, really. So there's no point in delaying it. And with c6, you actually have this idea of maybe playing knight e4, similar to a Lasker variation of a Queen's Gambit declined. So here, I like to play Queen c2. And the point of Queen c2 is you actually prevent knight e4. So let me ask, this is a nice puzzle to start off the day. Why is knight e4 not playable? This is White to play and win. This is a nice little trick to know in this position. You prevent knight e4 by playing Queen c2. Who's got it? White to play and win. Yeah, Camel Clutch has got it. Bishop e7, Queen e7, Knight d5, ra-ta-ta-ta-ta. And the point is, he's hanging. He is real hanging. So, yeah. Black castled in this game. Black was Keres, who's an incredibly strong grandmaster, but he didn't play great this game. Bishop d3. This bishop makes a lot of sense on d3. It's very strong. Knight bd7. Queen c2. Just keeping this pawn honest. Right now, there's no threat because takes will be met with knight takes. The pawn is still defended, but this battery is often very powerful for White. Rook e8, and here we get sort of the start of the idea. Knight e2. This is the first sort of step in this plan of going f3 e4, expanding in the center. Black goes knight f8, which is actually considered one of the best maneuvers. The point is, you're going to force this bishop to take on f6 by going with some combination of knight g6 and h6. So Black is attempting to win the bishop pair here. Castles. c6, this is necessary. You have to play c6. Otherwise, I'll get a really quick b4, b5 in. Like, super quick. So you do need to play c6. And here Botvinnik goes rook a b1. And the reason is, at the time, this is what you did in this system. you played the minority attack. But this game actually gave rise to the other plan in this structure, which is to go f3, e4. So this structure is known as the Carlsbad structure, where there's sort of this long pawn chain on the queen side for black and the 2 pawns for white. And then white has the long king side pawn chain and black has the 3 over here. This is known as the Carlsbad structure. And one of the main plans for white is the minority attack with b4, b5. But this game actually invented the other main plan for white, which is to expand in the center and create a kingside attack. So rook a b1. And here Keres played a bad move. Keres played bishop d6. And the problem with this move is that you're pinning yourself again. This knight has sort of repinned itself. But Keres is not like a dumb player. He has ideas behind his moves. So let me ask the crowd, what's the idea behind bishop d6? Why did Keres play this move? Yeah, bishop h2. He's threatening to take here. So say I play some random move. Black will take, and this is a big problem because on king takes, check, black wins the piece back. And black has a winning game here. So, you know, Keres is not an idiot. He has a threat, but Botvinnik is also not an idiot. He sees the threat. And I think he plays a very nice move here. He just plays king h1. And said he doesn't want to weaken his king side at all, especially because he has this idea of going f3. So if you go like h3, then f3 creates some dark square weaknesses. So instead of playing h3, he just sidesteps with his king. And so now if you take, then this wins on the spot for white. White is just totally winning. So after king h1, black continues to improve his pieces, knight g6. And now Botvinnik strikes on this plan of expanding in the center with f3. A really good move. And his strategy is really, really simple. He's going to play e4, and then he's going to maul you. e4 comes with a threat of e5, winning a piece. Even if you move the bishop, I mean, yeah, you're going to lose a lot of time here. So black played probably the best move, but it's a little bit unfortunate. He played bishop e7 back, which is a sad move to make. You put your bishop on e7, and then you put it on d6, and then it goes back to e7. That's a sign that something went wrong in the opening here. The problem is if black goes h6, then white's going to really start rolling here. e4, right? And yeah, this is tough. I don't really see what black is doing here. e5 is coming, f4, f5. White has an incredible position. So bishop e7, probably best. But now Botvinnik goes all in, rook e1. And now Keres tried to trade off pieces because he's a little cramped here. So he went knight d7. He's going to trade off this bishop, which is very annoying. But white just keeps building, knight g3. Now e4 is going to be really, really strong. Knight f6. e4 is not playable here. If you go e4, I will grab here on d4. This pawn needs to be supported. So instead of going e4, he supports the d4 pawn, queen f2. All his moves are built up to play e4. And when he does, he's going to have a massive attack because moves like e5 are coming, f4, f5. If you take on e4, all of a sudden the f file opens, and just this huge, all these white pieces make a lot of sense. This bishop isn't doing anything. This rook is not doing anything. The queen's not really doing anything for black, whereas all of white's pieces have a purpose. Bishop e6. Knight f5. Very annoying. Hits the rook. You cannot give up this bishop. The light square bishop will be too strong. But if you go, say, here, then bad things start to happen to your position. Probably e4 right away. Or maybe even g4, right? g4 followed by e4? That would be annoying. So say, like, I don't even know what like, I can't even suggest a move for black. What does black do? Rook c8, e4. It's just falling apart. So, black did take the knight, but now this bishop is going to be monstrous. The light square bishop is always white's best attacking piece, and if you have given away your light square bishop, my light square bishop is going to be unbelievable. So Kara's played queen b6, trying to get some activity, but here comes e4. Let's go. Kara's took. You don't have to take, but it's not really pretty if you don't take either. Say, I don't know, rook to d8. This is just e5, right? And this is not pleasant. Like, where does this knight go? I guess to d7. But here comes f4, f5. This is going to be over real quick. So black took. He's trying to get more activity for his pieces. Maybe he can put pressure on this pawn, which he did. He activated his last piece. But here we go, e5, as promised. Black now has a nice square for his knight. Knight h5 in the previous variation. This I don't believe. Like, can I go f4? Oh, no, I can't. Okay, this is interesting. But should not work. I might be able to take this. And my point is, I'll go f4, and my next move will be g4. And the knight's a little trapped over there. Yeah, this looks really, really bad. g5. I'll actually go f5. And I think this knight is just toast. So yeah, he took, and the reason is he's going to get this square for the knight, which is nice. But you've given up some squares as well. So this is a really important maneuver to remember in this opening. White really does not want to trade these knights because black has weakened some squares in his position. Namely, he's really weakened the d6 square. So when this f6 knight moves, boom, we're coming in. Knight e4. Let's go. And this is a classic maneuver in this opening. The knight's going to be incredibly powerful on d6. Black played knight f8, which is a sad move to make, but maybe necessary. The problem is if you go knight c7, and the idea is to put your knight on e8 to contest the d6 square, this actually doesn't work tactically because I have this sort of ridiculous fork. Hello. Where did this come from? And I'm forking queen and rook on the 8th rank. So that's why Keras instead chose knight f8. Again, he's defending h7. He might put his knight on the e6 square, which would be a nice square for his knight. But here comes the pony. Here it comes. And again, threat is knight c8. So black said, okay, no knight c8. I'm not going to allow this. But now, let's take stock of the position. White has this incredibly powerful d6 knight. He has pressure down the f-file. This bishop is not doing a whole lot. This knight is not doing a whole lot, right? So white has a lot of space in the center, but this bishop isn't really doing anything. In fact, it's actually blocking the f-file. Yeah, rook takes d6 should be mentioned here. The problem is, it's just totally lost. You just don't have compensation. So, is it playable? Yes. But you don't have enough compensation for the exchange here. It's simply not possible. I agree it might have been a better try than the game. So, after queen c7, Botvinnik played bishop e4, which makes a lot of sense. This bishop wasn't doing anything. It was blocking the f-file. Oh, rook takes d6 here. Well, it was white's move, right? So white got to play this move, bishop e4. You're saying here... Yeah, so you can play rook d6 here, but again, your position is just really, really bad. Say you... I don't know, what do you want to take with? You have to take with a pawn. Yeah, you have to take with a pawn. Otherwise the rook hangs. And it looks pretty lost. Like, my queen comes in, I attack this pawn. I have pressure here, so your queen's tied down. Your knight is the stupidest thing in the world. So, yeah, it's just lost. So, bishop e4. A nice move from white, clearing the f-file. He's going to take the strong knight, leaving these two pieces on the board, which is not even a comparison. Black played knight e6, made this knight at least not the stupidest piece on the board. But now white goes for it. Queen h4, that's a threat. g6. Now f7 is even weaker. Take. Now Botvinnik plays this really, really well. So he wants to put more pressure on this pawn, which is going to involve doubling. But he does it in a way that makes black's life really, really hard. So, what do you think white should play here? Let's do another puzzle. This is actually a somewhat famous position, so you might recognize this upcoming position. What should white play here? Anyone can answer. It doesn't have to be Camel Clutcher. Although Camel Clutcher is welcome to answer. Who knows? We're all confused. Play like Botvinnik. Awkward for who? White or black? Queen takes e7. What? I'll take it. I assume this was your idea. It's an idea. It might not be a good one, but it's an idea. Okay, I'll go queen h4. In this position, it feels like I'm up a queen for a rook. Yeah, so the correct move here is rook c1. And this forces queen d7. Because otherwise this rook does hang. And the reason black wants this is if I do something normal, like rook f3 was suggested, after rook f3, black will take this, 100%. And because the rooks aren't coming off immediately, black has vague ideas of surviving this position. But after rook c1, queen d7, it's difficult to play rook takes d6. That's not easy. And now, white doubles. He's got a really simple idea. He's just going to put a ton of pieces on the f-file. The other idea is maybe I'll swing all the way over here. Hey man, Botvinnik was a good player. There's a reason he was world champion like 4 times or however many times he was world champion. Rook f8, black says, okay, fine, I'll grovel. And this is a nasty one. And this is so famous. White to play and win. Well, this is a good game to have in your back pocket, especially if you're a d4 player. If you play the Queen's Gambit declined, because this game has some really key ideas in this line. So black's idea is on rook h3, he's gonna play f5. This is his idea. Here you can't go queen h7. Oh, you want to go queen h7 in the original position. That's ambitious. Where's your mate? I don't see her mate, my man. Rook f6 first to prevent f5. That's sensible. That is very sensible. What am I going to do about that? Is a question that I need to answer. This move looks pretty good. This was not the move played, but I'll give this looks like it's also winning. This looks like it's also winning, I would say. This is just the first game, Yago. You'll see more. This is Botvinnik Karas. Queen a4 for black. Oh yeah, you have some back rank issues. That's a good idea. Yeah, this sort of puts the brakes on white. Because now you have some issues that you have to deal with. Your rook left the back rank. That's a nice spot. Yeah, this line was born. Botvinnik created this line, basically. So yeah, the move here for white, I'm just going to show it. It says it's a strong one. Knight f5. Rapapapapa. Knife f5. My Ben Feingold lovers. Stupid queens, right? So the obvious question is, well, okay, what happens if I take it? The answer is bad things. Check. You lose. If you block, you still lose. Yeah, who finds these? Botvinnik, exactly. I don't know, if you're familiar with this idea, it's not so crazy, right? This is actually an idea that I play in the same-ish King's Indian. You play knight f5 to open the g file. And that's not the craziest pattern to see. Here black played rook f e8. Rook e e8 it's just hopeless. The queen comes in. I'm starting to threaten things on like g7. You definitely can't take. I'm also threatening a checkmate. That's fun. So you like have to play this, but you know your position is just ridiculous. So Kara's is like, fine, I'll give the exchange. And then Botvinnik's like, no, I don't want the exchange. I want your f7 pawn. That's better than an exchange. Here, knight h6, king g7. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Also good. Also winning. Also mate, actually. Oh yeah, no, this is you can do a lot of things here. White is just totally winning after knight f5. So Botvinnik went knight h6 check, king f8, queen f6. So hello, mate threat on h8, knight g7, and this one's interesting. You can actually go knight f5 back. That's unpleasant. The difference between titled players and untitled players, that titled players put pieces on pre. That's cute. Yeah, here, Botvinnik didn't play this. This is actually, when I first saw this position, Botvinnik doubled on the f file. But after knight g7, I was like, why doesn't he just play like knight f5 back? And it's really a brutal move. You can't take this with anything. If you take with the pawn, there's rook g3. If you take with the knight, this is mate. And if you take with the queen, it's all the same. So that was my first instinct. But Botvinnik played simpler chess. Who can blame him? He's going to win f7, actually. So black got activity. Okay, I'll take f7. Rook e6, queen g5. I've got enough pieces on my knight. Knight f5. Knight h6. Queen g7. And this was the last move. It's sort of a gimme. White to play and end the game. How did Botvinnik end the game? Rook f5 probably wins. Why didn't Keres resign yet? Because his coach told him never resign. No, I'm joking, I don't know. Rook takes f5. I'll take it. Ah, you're gonna go queen takes f5. It's a little annoying. Yeah, queen takes f5. I would go queen takes f5 and just take the rook. Oh, but here I'm losing anyway. Yeah, this is good. That wins. Clearly wins. But then he played g4. And I just said, hey, that's a pinned piece. I know what to do with pinned pieces. Oh, is there a back ranking that issue there? Ah, there is a back rank issue here. So how do I? Yeah, I have this, and you actually can't snap the queen. So yeah, but Vinny just played simple pin and win, g4, and here Kara's resigned. He's just losing a piece, no compensation. He's been lost for a while, but now he's like, all right, fine, it's just a piece. I lose. So a really nice game from Botvinnik, and he showed the dynamic power of going f3, e4, and just blasting the center. And he showed how you can get a really strong kingside attack. Boring is sometimes good. So, yeah, this game, Karas didn't play really well in the opening. And Botvinnik is a really principled classical player, and if you don't play well in the opening against Botvinnik, he's gonna blast you for it. And so, so Botvinnik sort of went home, and he was like, maybe there's something to this, like f3, e4, because this had like never been played before Botvinnik played it in this game. He played this idea with expanding in the center. And here he goes e4. So he went home and he sort of refined this idea of going f3, e4. And we're going to see another Botvinnik game against Bent Larsen. So you can get the Queen's Gambit decline from all sorts of move orders. Here Botvinnik played c4. But after e6, you're probably going to get some sort of d-pawn structure. And here we have a Queen's Gambit. And we exchange, and the bishop comes out. This is all normal. Note that you have to be a little careful of this move c6, because after e3, it is possible for black to play bishop f5. And this is called the short variation, because Nigel Short played it a lot. And it leads directly to an endgame after queen f3. So if you're interested in playing this variation, you should look at the game Carlsen-Kramnik from like 2015 or 2016 maybe. I think it's Carlsen-Kramnik, where Carlsen just gave Kramnik the beatdown in this ending. So if you're interested in this short variation, you can look at that game. However, after c6, I recommend playing the move queen c2, just saying you're not playing bishop f5, and you don't allow the short variation. But okay, Botvinnik plays e3, and Bent Larsen plays bishop e7, and we have a normal position. Queen c2, remember we talked about, if you go bishop to e3, you do allow knight e4, which I'll have you know, yeah, someone called it the novelty of the year. I don't know what it was called, or who said that. Knight e4 is called the Larsen, and the Larsen version of the QGD. So you might not want to allow the Larsen variation of the QGD against Bent Larsen. So you play queen c2, which doesn't allow knight e4. Remember, now if knight e4, I take here, and you lose. Yeah, I mean, Magnus made it look pretty good, but Kramnik didn't play that ending very well in that game. So it took some mistakes from Kramnik for Magnus to get such a good position. Okay, queen c2, castles, bishop d3, this is all normal. Both sides are putting their pieces on normal squares. The white knight comes to e2. Remember, if you put your knight on f3, that means you're going for a minority attack, which is fine. I just think it's not... I think white has better. I think this plan with f3, e4, f3, e4 gives white a lot. Like, white has extreme dynamic potential in these positions. And here, black does something that you will see a lot at club level. So I think this is really instructive, because it's important to see sort of what natural moves are. Black plays h6, which is often not a good move. Queenside castling. So queenside castling, it's usually a sideline. And queenside castling usually happens in the line with an early knight h5. So short answer, not really. That could be another variation. If black plays an early knight h5, often you just queenside castle and say, what is your knight doing on h5? Which is a fair question. But if black does not play an early knight h5, it's pretty rare to queenside castle in these lines. So that's really like one sideline of this opening. Karpov played this, played a lot of knight f3. That doesn't surprise me. Karpov is a really technical, he just wants to be a little bit better. We'll see the next game I have after this game. We'll see Kasparov playing f3, e4. And that makes a lot of sense, because Kasparov was a super dynamic player. And Kasparov plays this line so well. So yeah, here I think black made a slight mistake. Black played h6. And the problem is this weakens the king side a little bit. And the real problem is, a lot of times, black wants to put his knight on g6. But you can't do that once you played h6. So h6 always strikes me as not quite right, but like, I probably have like 20 games in this variation as white, and I'd say like in like 19 of them my opponent played h6. So this is going to be played a lot. If you play this variation, you're going to see this a lot. Bishop h4, that makes sense. Rook e8, f3. You normally want to castle before you play f3, but because the bishop is already back here, he can come to f2 and defend the pawn chain, so that's sensible. And here, black played c5, which is one of the best defenses to this sort of plan. Because when you play c5, it makes it much more difficult for white to play e4. Because the center is sort of, the center is not very stable. So if white, went ahead with e4, black would take here, and white wouldn't have that like huge central mass. So c5 is a really desirable move for black in this opening, because it makes white's central expansion a lot more difficult. And c5 is a move I face a lot in this opening. You have to be prepared to deal with c5. So this is sort of a critical moment, right? Black just played c5, and we have to decide how we're going to deal with it. Yeah, I mean, if you play e4 right away, then there's an immediate concrete reason why it doesn't work. But we wouldn't play e4 right away as white. We're not ready to play e4. This is a critical moment. Black has achieved c5, which is an important break. So we should ask ourselves, how would you continue as white? There's a lot of options for white here. So let's ask the crowd. What would you play as white? Actually, while you think, I'm going to get some water. Bishop f2, bishop f5. Any other ideas? So, first thing, I'm glad no one said takes, because taking is usually undesirable for white now. This gives black a lot of activity. Again, we hit the bishop. Also, this isn't really your typical Isolani position because although black has a weak pawn, white also has a weak pawn. So I think taking is not a good idea. Bishop f2 is in the spirit of the line, but we're in no rush to play bishop f2. We don't need to play bishop f2. We got to deal with normal stuff. So let's play normal moves, right? Castles. Really, really, really principled. Botvinnik is the most principled player I know. If knight f4... Yeah, but he's not going to play CD. No way he plays CD. He doesn't want to play CD. Bishop f8 check. What? Oh yeah, this is terrible. But yeah, so that just shows the point of why, you know, principled play, right? Our opponent's opening up the center. Let's castle, right? Super principled. Black plays at a6. Okay, this signals that black is gonna go this sort of stuff. And Botvinnik is really, really calm. So Botvinnik says, okay, everybody's doing something except this guy. Let's go. Put him in the center. Really, really principled play. This is why I think beginners can learn so much from Botvinnik's games. All his moves make sense. He said, okay, the A-rook's not doing anything. Let's bring him in the game. That's so simple. I love simple chess. Bent Larsen said, okay, I'm going to do my thing on the king side. And here, white finally came back and supported this pawn chain. And now white has consolidated his position. He can start thinking about taking here. Because he's got all his pieces active. He's got some pressure on this pawn. He has ideas of going like knight f4, bishop f5. That puts a lot of pressure on the d pawn. So white is preparing to take on c5. It wasn't good earlier, but now that white's castled, he brought his rook in. Now it might be time for white to take on c5. So Bent Larsen reacts to this, and he plays c4. And c4 is very double-edged, and the reason is, so now black has a 3-on-2 majority, which is going to give black a lot of counterplay. But when you play c4, that gives white the green light on e4 again. Because when the pawn's on c5, it's preventing e4 because the center is still unstable. But when you close the center, I'm going to bust it open with e4. So this is a really double-edged decision because black's saying, I'm going to win on the queen side, and white's saying, I'm going to checkmate you. And seeing as I'm showing you this from the white perspective, guess what happened? Okay, I have only one move here. I have to play bishop f5. Knight b6, he's bringing his knight to the queen side. The knight was really not doing anything. Also, the bishop is, trading light square bishops would be very, would be ideal for black. The light square bishop is a good piece. Okay, white plays knight g3. Now if you take, my knight will come to f5. That'll be a good piece on f5. So black sort of prophylactically drops his bishop back. Why not b4? In what position exactly? Instead of knight b6, maybe? Yeah, b4. B4 is definitely playable, and perhaps even better than Bent's move. Larson played it kind of slowly with knight b6. b4 might be a better move, and the reason is this knight isn't really happy. The knight would like to go to e2, but you can't. And so I agree that b4 is a better move than knight b6, but hey, everyone's bad at chess, so what do you want, right? Knight g3, bishop f8, again, he's stepping out of the knight f5. And now white plays a3 and says, okay, you're going to have to work to play b4. You're going to have to work a little bit harder. Now, black develops his pieces. I think it's interesting. Black could take here. But, man, that's a good knight. And you can play g6 if you really want. But then you play g6, right? I don't know if you want to play g6. Because then my f5 comes with a crush. Yeah, maybe he wanted to prevent knight a4. I'm not convinced my knight's doing God's work on a4 or something. So yeah, Larson played bishop b7. It's just inviting the knight to f5 is so unattractive. The knight is so strong there. So a3, bishop b7, and Botvinnik says, okay, I'm ready. Let's go e4. Let's go. And, okay, Larson kicks the bishop. You had to calculate this, by the way. You had to make sure you had enough defenders on the square without the bishop. Because there's 1, 2, 3, 4 attackers, and 1, 2, 3, 4 defenders. That's good enough. If you were counting on this bishop to protect e4, you would be very sad after g6. But Botvinnik saw that. But Larson was clever. He had a point to his play. So Larson had this clever idea of a5. And his point is, hey, remember how there's four attackers of this pawn and 4 defenders? You're not playing knight takes b5 because your e-pawn will hang. So that was Larson's main point here, and also the point behind g6. He had to drive off one of the defenders of e4 so that knight takes b5 is unplayable. For example, if knight takes b5, I mean, which pawn was more important, the e4 pawn or the b5 pawn? It's clearly e4. So here, black would be doing fine. So after a5, white went e5, and black went b4. And it's not in white's interest to get into some like weird racing structure, because white is just better in this structure. He has a ton of space. He's ready to go. So white just dropped back. He said, okay, move your knight. I don't know where, right? Because your knight is just terrible everywhere. Black played knight h7, sticks close to the king. And now we see the main strategic idea of white. f4. Let's go. Let's go, let's go, let's go. bishop c6 with subtle threats. Now, no, it is possible to play f5 here and just say, like, take my exchange. But there's no need to allow any craziness. That's what Botvinnik was so good at. He was just like, I don't need to allow any of your crazy counterplay. E6 instead of f4. Let's look. E6 here. You have some point. Okay, e6. I don't really want to take that. Well, okay, let me see what happens here. Takes. Yeah, the problem is you're doing that to me. It's pretty dirty. It's a dirty move of yours. E6. Maybe I just go like King G7 and pray. Yeah, I don't, for some reason I don't believe in this. I think King G7 is fine. I looked at this F5. I'm a little worried about white just like throwing pieces at F5. You know, like something like this. Looks a little scary to me. A lot scary to me, actually. I would probably rather have white. But maybe after knight f6, everything's fine, right? I don't see anything super concrete. It's just scary. Yeah, it's an interesting suggestion. It's definitely an interesting suggestion. Just trying to tear open the king at all costs. Yeah, I mean, e6, black's got to solve some problems, right? f4 chosen instead. e6 is interesting, though. Bishop c6. And here, I think Botvinnik plays a nice move. He plays rook a1. We'll see an idea very similar to that in the game. You'll see the point. So white plays rook a1, and the point is this rook was on d1 to protect the d4 pawn. Well, this pawn is pretty solid right now. Nothing's attacking it, right? So we're going to make use of this rook down the A line. Okay, bishop a4, queen b1. The queen really wants to stay on this diagonal. That's where she's going to enter the attack. What if black plays b4, b3? If you go b3, that's bad. You're shutting down your counterplay. I'll go queen b1, and I'll be very happy. Yeah, b3, you're losing all your counterplay. Now you don't have any expansion on the queen side. Now I'm doing great. Now I don't even have to worry about the queen side because the queen side just locked up. So now I'm doing great. In fact, my knight will come back to c3, and you'll be very annoyed. So after bishop a4, queen b1, black played f5, which was Camel Clutcher's idea. Basically saying, okay, you have a protected passed pawn, but you're not going to play f5. Which means I'm not going to get mated. So first thing, white put his rook on a1 for a reason, so he opened the a line. And now white's a little stuck, right? Because, okay, the a line is open, but white can't immediately do anything on the a line. Black stopped white's attack with f5. So Botvinnik played really well here. And I'd like to ask, what would you play as white? What would you play as white? Find the best continuation for white. Sack on f5. There's 3 pieces pointed there. What do you want to sack on f5? Knight takes f5. In the face, you have played like Botvinnik. Knight takes f5. Saying, my pawns are worth a piece. My pawns strolling into your face, they're worth a piece. So first of all, I'm threatening the knight. You have to do something about that. Botvinnik is your middle name. It's a good middle name. So black developed his queen and defended the knight. Here, Botvinnik played not the strongest continuation, but still a good continuation. Botvinnik played knight g3. But the best move is just to go bishop g6. I win a tempo on the rook, and then I go f5, and I'm going to play f6, and I'm going to play f7. So this was the strongest continuation. But what Botvinnik did was fine. Knight g3, bishop d7. Again, Botvinnik should go bishop g6. But he took. Again, it's all fine. He's still winning. That's a testament to how good white's position is. Botvinnik's not playing the most critical moves, and he's just winning anyway. Here comes the queen. That's a little scary. Of course, I don't want to trade the queens. I sacrificed a piece. I need to attack. So the queen puts pressure on the rook. I have 2 attackers on the rook. You only have 1 defender. So rook takes a1 is obliged. And now I dominate the a file. And you know I have ideas of like rook a7 and stuff. Queen f7, targeting the f4 pawn. However, you're not, like, it's hard for me to believe that you're ever threatening to take on f4. Like, I feel like if you ever take on f4, you just get mated. So I don't know. And here we go, rook a7. Simple chess, right? That's what Yago said, simple chess. But Botvinnik plays really simple chess. And here, Larsen played a very poor move. Larsen played knight takes e5, which is probably, he's probably in time trouble. This is move 33, but this move just loses on the spot. So what would you play as white? Sirens? Yeah, that's the Popo. Popo are after me. You take the piece, how? It's important. Yeah, D takes is important. Exactly. Black probably thought he had a discovered attack on the rook. I mean, which he does. This move discovers an attack on the rook. But D takes protects the rook. So that's Black has really just been kind and given the piece back. But let's go back. What would happen after rook e7? Yeah, d5 wins. What happens after rook e7? e6. I have queen e6. No, e6. Oh, that yeah. I have rookie. I have rook e6. You're in trouble here, I think. Rook e6, queen d7, rook e7. But you have a check. So you're fine here, actually. Hum, hum. Queen e6, queen e6. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I'll give you that. I think it might be cleaner just to take here. Because here you actually don't win the pawn. So I'm actually going to keep this pawn, this passed pawn. Yeah, that ending position of that variation wasn't so clear. This is clearer because I'm actually going to keep this pawn, which is very annoying for you. So yeah, that's correct. So in the game, knight e5, d5, queen e6, and here Botvinnik just said, yeah, the ending's winning, let's go. Knight f5, rook c6, and the king is going to come over and stop these pawns. c3, takes. It's important that you play with a little bit of care. It is never too late to lose one of these positions. This position still requires some care from white. So here, white went bishop e3. If you do something dumb, like king e2, you're going to regret that. So bishop e3, very good. Bishop c5, takes. And rook a1, very calm. I'm up a pawn, and I'm just going to stop your passed pawns, and then I'll get going. And here we can zoom through the rest of this ending because it's pretty technical and it doesn't really show the ideas that I'm interested in showing. King e2, knight e6, the knight gets improved. g3, everything's very solid. h5, the king comes in. d4. The knight remaneuvers. There it lands on e4. Maybe I can go get that h-pawn at some point. I'll kick your knight to a terrible square. Check. I'll kick your rook. My pawns are really, really strong. Your king's not doing anything, by the way. Oh yeah. If you think Botvinnik didn't have technique, Botvinnik has some technique. Knight e5 check, and I take your pawn and you lose. Let me ask, why do you lose? What happens on c2? Yeah, I just go e7 check. Truth hurts. And you're gonna be mated if we both queen. I'm mating you somehow. I don't know how, but I will mate you. I'll figure it out later. I'll figure out how I'm mating you later. This one looks like a good start, actually. Hello! It's pretty good. So yeah, that was Botvinnik's game against Bent Larsen, which showed some really good ideas when black plays c5. Don't overreact, don't take it, just castle, get all your pieces involved, consolidate the position, and if they close it down, then you go and you play for e4. And when you get e4, you get a really strong attack. And here white is just much better. Oh yeah, king takes f5. I'm sure, but I'm still mating. So yeah. So yeah, a really strong game from Botvinnik. The third game I want to look up is a Kasparov game. Because Kasparov played this a lot as white. And Kasparov is like the king of dynamic play. And Kasparov is so good at showing the dynamic potential of white in these positions. Kasparov just... I love Kasparov. He's so incredible. So here Kasparov was playing against the legendary endgame player. Who can guess who that is? Who's the legendary endgame player? Who is it? Who's got chess knowledge? Karpov was a pretty good endgame player. I don't know if he's known so much for his endgames, though. Karpov's a reasonable guess, though. Fischer. Fischer was not known for his endgames. Fischer was known for mating you. Smyslov was known for his endgames. Not the one I'm thinking of, though. Kramnik also known for his... Alright, fine. You all have good answers. Anderson. Ulf Anderson. It's funny because you all name players that were really good at endgames, but Anderson is like literally known only for his endgames. Like no one's ever heard of Anderson, like an attacking Anderson game. There's just only games where Anderson like grinds you in an endgame. Kasparov, yes, the famous endgame player Kasparov. So Kasparov played the exchange, Queen's Gambit decline, because that's what we're talking about. He did not allow the short variation. This is all standard. Here, notice that black has not played h6. So black has the idea of going knight g6. f3, as we saw. Bishop e6 is interesting. Normally, we've been seeing this bishop sort of rotting away on c8 in a lot of these lines. So here, Anderson tries to solve this problem, and what he's going to do is he's actually going to get all his pieces involved with rook c8 and c5. And here, Kasparov brings his other rook, all his pieces into play again. Look, it's move 12. Kasparov has developed every single one of his pieces. He's castled. He has space in the center. Kasparov's doing great. Rook c8. And now Kasparov plays an interesting move. He plays king h1. And the reasoning behind playing king h1 is, say I go like e4 right away. Well, after takes, black can take here with check. Very annoying. But after king h1, I start to have ideas of e4, because in a dream world, after takes, queen takes, I'll have e5, and some like tactical firework will happen. So king h1 is directed to play e4 without protecting this deep pawn. And here, Anderson plays a little bit wonky. Anderson plays knight on 6 to d7, which is a little strange. Oh, knight on e2. Haha. Well, yeah, so the idea is this knight will go probably to g3 or f4. That's a very important tactical point. But this knight usually does pop out somewhere on the king side, and then d4 would be hanging, except there was going to be some e5 action going on. But, you know, good point. So Anderson played knight 67, and his idea is he just wants to trade pieces because he's kind of cramped here. If you look, all his pieces are inhabiting this like tiny little box. And so he's trying to trade off some pieces, gain a little bit of space for his pieces. Takes. Anderson plays rook takes. It is possible to play queen takes. White has a good position in both cases. Yeah, there's a couple games here. I'll link the study at the end if you're interested in looking at queen takes. But Anderson played rook takes, which is good. It's fine. We're dropping some frames. Uh-oh. How are we doing there? Is my connection dropping a little bit? Anderson is not that well known, I find, but I think he's a really good player. And if you struggle with endgame and especially like endgame planning, looking at Anderson's games can be really, really instructive. So yeah, rook takes e7, knight f4 makes sense. This knight pops out on the king side. Maybe I'll take this bishop. Maybe I won't though. Who knows? And now Anderson tries to does something a little wonky. He plays rook c7, and his idea is to like put the knight over here and then put like a rook on d7. This whole plan feels a little bit shaky. So queen f2, knight f6. I'm going to put a rook on d7, but I don't know. And here Kasparov says, okay, my queen and my rooks are really well placed. These knights are really well placed. This bishop is really well placed. Let's go e4, right? That makes sense. All my pieces are on great squares. I'm going to go e4. So this was Anderson's point. Takes, and rook d7. This was his idea behind rook c7, was to put the rook on d7 and pressure the center. But here, so this position is interesting. Anderson has a threat. He's threatening to take on d5. So here, I'll ask the chat, what should Kasparov play? Yeah, rook c7 was obvious, Iago. Of course he would play rook c7. d5. So, Iago, you better have something really concrete, because I've got 5 pieces pointed at d5. King e2, very strong. No, I know you meant knight e2. Which knight? You suppose a feeling isn't concrete. F knight. I don't know, I like this knight here. It's very active. This is an active piece. Putting on an e2 feels really, really sad. So the move that I was attracted to in this position was e5. However, e5, I think, probably fails tactically, if I had to guess. Kasparov played d5, exclam. And this is what I'm talking about. Kasparov is the best dynamic player. He understands the dynamics of White's position. And that's why he plays this variation. It's incredibly dynamic. White has so many opportunities to do crazy things like this. So let's see what Kasparov's idea was. Anderson went, okay, I have to take this pawn on d5. And here, Kasparov showed his idea. He played bishop b5, winning a tempo on the rook. So Anderson played rook c7. You probably should give the exchange as black with something like takes, 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 takes. And this is clearly better for white, but maybe black can hold. I don't know. But Anderson played the really natural move, which is rook c7. Notice if you go rook d6, I will take my piece. I like pieces. I like pieces a lot. So rook c7, and now I take this pawn because you have less stuff guarding this pawn now. Very annoying for you. So Anderson drops back. Interesting is if you take here, you're probably going to run into some issues here. I think I have 96. No, there's 96. Just kidding. What do I have here? I have a pin. Pin and win, baby. That's a pin and a half. I know how to pin and win. I can do that all day. So yeah, you cannot grab this pawn on d5 because of pin and win. So Anderson played bishop d7. And now it's time for you to play like Kasparov. Find the move for white here. This is white to play for strong advantage. Win is strong, but it's white to play for strong advantage. Play like Kasparov? Yeah. Yago, what's the move here? Come on. D6, you're going to be sad. I'll take this. Ha-ha! I live. Here I survived, right? I lived to see another day. Oh, wait. Hold on. No. I have this. I have this. You're in trouble. You're not in trouble, but you have to take my bishop. And then I move. No, you're in trouble. I got a lot of activity there. Yeah, I have that nice tactic. If you play d6 right away, I trade rooks, boom, hit the defender, let's go. So d6, not the move. This was a really unfair question, because Kasparov plays a really good move here. Yeah, I was a little mean asking you this one, but this move is too good. And note that Kasparov calculated this when he played d5 like 3 moves ago. He saw this move, which is kind of ridiculous. Okay, I'll give it to you. I don't think we're going to find it. Here, Kasparov plays bishop e2 exclam. Didn't expect that one. Bishop e2. What's the point? The point is, it's hard to play rook takes e1 when my bishop's in the way. The other point is, I have 2 threats. I'm threatening to this pawn. I'm threatening a fork. I have 2 threats. And you cannot play rook e1. You cannot trade off a rook with tempo. Kasparov saw this when he played d5. This is ridiculous. So Anderson moved one of his rooks because he didn't want his rooks to get forked. And Kasparov said, thank you very much. Thanks for the pawn. And here Anderson plays well. He plays b6. And the point is, your queen's a little out there. And Kasparov plays his only inaccuracy of the game. He plays queen a6, which is not great. He should go d6. And the point is, after rook e5, bishop f3, my queen goes out this way. And there's no like bishop c6 shenanigans. And my queen will come out. So, but after queen a6, black can be more annoying. However, Anderson plays not the best move. He plays knight e4. But now black can cause, or white can cause some problems. So here, Kasparov realized something important. And what he realized right now is, okay, right now, what I have as an asset is a pass pawn in the center. But it's a little weak. It's hard for me to protect this pawn, really. So he decided to exchange his pass pawn in the center for an even stronger asset. So he plays d6, exclam. And his point is, he doesn't want this pawn. He wants queenside connected passers. And if he can trade this pawn for this pawn, he's just strategically won. So d6 is a nice move, because after takes, my knight comes in, your rook has to move, and now I'm winning b6. Let's go. I have connected pass pawns. And here, the ending is just disastrous. Knight f5 takes, bishop d3, and white's just trading off all the pieces, and then he'll play this and win. Because what do? I have connected pass pawns on the queen side. How do you stop that? It's just not possible. So this rook needs to come off. It's under fire. This knight was doing nothing. And again, it's just technique here. Kasparov pushes his pawns. Let's go. Let's go. What do you got? Kasparov says, I don't need this bishop anymore. Let's trade pieces. Hit the knight. My knights are going to control all these squares. Yes, Anderson has faltered long before this. Rooks are coming off. b4. I can do this. b5. Let's go. And here Anderson resigned. He understands. He can't stop the pawns. It's just not possible. So, yeah, Kasparov is a really dynamic player. He's really a gem to see. Here, he really, it all came from finding this incredible move, highlighting the dynamic potential of White's position. D5, cracking the center. And he tactically justifies this move, which is really nice, I have to say. The rook has to move, and now you're just you're losing a pawn. And Kasparov will find a way to not lose a pawn, or to win the endgame a pawn up, I should say. So yeah, really nice game from Kasparov. I want to show one last game. And this is actually a game of mine. And the reason I want to show it is because sometimes looking at Grandmaster games doesn't reflect the sort of moves you'll see at the chess club. Because I know whenever I play this, I always get h6, I always get a quick c5 from black, and I always feel like, well, this isn't really kind of like the games I studied. But we'll see some of the ideas from these games show up in my game. I was playing against a candidate master. He's rated 2175 USCF. His FIDE is not 2200, which means he probably won his candidate master title in like an under 10 or an under 12 tournament. Oh yeah, he's a kid. He's like 15 or something. So this game I think highlights the importance of like knowing Grandmaster games, because a lot of these ideas I wouldn't find unless I had seen them before. So I played this game pretty well, except for some points in the middle game where I played suspiciously. But suspicious play is a specialty of mine. Also note, I have not engine checked this game. So I have no idea if my moves were the best moves. So this is all normal. Black has chosen not to play c6, but there's no real way to like punish black for that. It just is what it is. And here, like I'm talking about, h6. Everyone and their mother plays h6. It's super common. So h6. The only thing about h6 is you can't put your knight on g6 once you played h6. Yeah, it's going to be tough, Iago. b6. b6 is a little weird, but he's sort of borrowing ideas from the Tartakower Queen's Gambit Declined, where you play b6, bishop b7, and then maybe you go like c5. Because otherwise, like we've seen that this bishop, well, just in d-pawn openings in general, this bishop is a sad friend who never does anything. So he's trying to solve the problem of this bishop. I castled because that's a good thing to do. Bishop b7, f3. We know this plan. We've seen this plan. c5. And here, I play probably the first, I would say, not great move of the game. I played bishop f2, which is an idea I remembered from Botvinnik Larsen, when Larsen played c5, but Vinnik played bishop f2. But in this particular position, I haven't developed my queen, and I haven't developed my a-rook. So I think a better move here is probably just queen c2. I have a suspicion that queen c2 is a better move. And the point is, I'll bring my a-rook to the center, and then I'll play bishop f2. I'm going to develop all my pieces first before I move this guy for a second or third time. So I think bishop f2, probably inaccurate, probably better to develop my queen first, develop the a-rook, and then I'll bring him over here. But okay, bishop f2 can't be terrible. Rook e8. Here I played knight g3. This was part of my idea behind bishop f2. If I don't play bishop f2, I can't play knight g3, because say I play knight g3, well, that's a whoopsie. I've actually lost a game like this before. I lost a rated over-the-board game like this. It was very sad. So part of the idea behind bishop f2 is to put the knight out. But again, I'm moving this knight for a second time, right? So if I had a chance to play this position again, queen c2 seems like a good move. Just develop the queen, rook comes out, and then I'll go knight g3. But okay, knight g3. I have to say, my slightly suspicious opening play worked out quite well for me. It probably shouldn't have, but it worked out well for me. So my opponent played rook c8, which is interesting. I mean, he's playing logical chess. He's developed all of his pieces. The only thing he has to do is move his queen somewhere. His queen doesn't really have a good square. But okay. My opponent's playing logical chess. However, I think rook c8 isn't really respecting my ideas. So after rook c8, I had an interesting idea. I don't know if it's good, per se, but it's interesting. So let me ask the crowd, what would you play as white? Knight takes d5. What? What's your idea? Isn't this a knight? I'm confused. e4, d5? I don't have to refute. It's a piece. Bishop d6. I'm up a piece. I have a blockade on the dark squares. You lose. There's no compensation. I'm claiming you're a liar. You have one pawn for the piece. It's not even 2 pawns. You know what? I'll do this. I'm up a pawn. I saw queen c2. Queen c2 would be a good logical move. But I saw an interesting opportunity. I think I'm not sure if queen c2 is better or my move is better. But my move is interesting. I did play knight f5. And I just said, I'd like to ask a question to this bishop. Because the bishop is rather low on squares. So you can play bishop f8. My opponent did not play bishop f8. But let's continue this line. Say my opponent plays bishop f8. What am I playing here? I had a point to my play. I had an idea. Because I'm not going to play knight f5 if he can just go bishop f8 and, you know, there's nothing there. But I had an idea here. e4. Yikes. e4 is suspicious. Incredibly suspicious. It's a pawn! What are you doing? That's a pawn, my friend. I like pawns. Give me more of them. Yeah, you can't play e4 there. Queen g4? Not legal. Oh, you want to play queen g4 at the end of that line? Or like somewhere in the middle? Queen g4 is interesting at some point. Like queen g4 here, maybe. I don't know. That's a piece sack. But it might be dangerous. On queen g4, I always have knight f6. I should live. I should be okay. Yeah, there we go. Bishop f8, knight b5. Very annoying. It like, I spent a long time on this move, knight f5, because I saw this, and this doesn't seem right for some reason. It doesn't seem sound, but I'm providing very concrete problems to my opponent. He has issues. He has issues here. I've got a knight coming to d6. That's like really annoying. Also, if I want, I can just snap a pawn at some point. So, yeah, this is a nice little, almost like combination. Knight f5, if he goes bishop f8, let's jump on in. It's really a double attack of the d6 square and the a7 pawn. It feels a little shaky, but I couldn't refute it. And my opponent couldn't refute it either. So after knight f5, my opponent played a6, which makes some sense. He said, I can't allow this. Bishop a6 after knight b5? No, my friend. The bishop is protected. That's a fork. Yeah, you have to defend the square. The only thing I was analyzing here was rook e6. This was sort of the only move I looked at. And here I thought I can play bishop g3, or I can even just take the pawn and be happy. They both make sense. But either way, my position is very good. Bishop g3 or takes the pawn. Both are fine. So my opponent played a6, makes a lot of sense. And I said, okay, I'll take a bishop. I can't play queen g4. It's not legal. Illegal move. Oh, you mean in that other variation? That might be true. I'm not going to go back and look at it, though. It was interesting. I'll give you that. So, rook e7. Yeah, I thought he would go queen e7. It made sense to me. I don't know why he didn't go queen e7, to be quite honest. But, okay, he went rook e7. Which, it's a little weird. And here I played a bad move. So, I played a4. And my idea was I wanted to restrain b5. Because it was very clear to me Black doesn't really have a plan in this position other than to expand on the queen side where he has more space. So I wanted to stop his queen side expansion. But if you, yeah, I agree, rook e7 is a little clumsy. But maybe he had ideas of like doubling rooks here to put pressure. I'm not sure. If you remember the game we looked at with Botvinnik Larsen, Botvinnik played a3. And the point behind a3 is that you're going to have to support the b5 square and play a5. So the reason I don't like a4 is that it actually lets Black gain a tempo, really. Black's going to have to Black's not going to have to play the move a5. Whereas if I play a normal developing move, I'll play like queen c2. Say you go b5, I go a3. And here, you're going to have to waste another move going a5, and you're going to have to protect b5. So I think a4 is a mistake. Also, Chad is mentioning bishop h4. It's very interesting. Bishop h4 I would not recommend g5. That looks really scary. But on bishop h4, you do have to reckon with this one, right? I wouldn't play g5. g5 is too scary. I should defend this pawn before I move, right? So bishop h4 I think is premature. I don't see what I'm doing here exactly. Like queen d2, rook e8, f4. Yeah, but that's an important pawn. Like f4 takes. No, f4. Now I start to have dreams of like knight e4. So like f4. I'll go like queen c7, knight e4. I think my position is actually pretty good here. So yeah, a4 wasn't good. I don't think bishop h4 is good. I think the best move here is, you know, the same thing I've been saying for years. Queen c2. Like, let's go, right? If black goes b5, I'll go a3. If black goes c4, I go bishop f5. And I'll come and put my rook on e1, and then I'll play e4 or something. Or maybe I'll take on c5, I don't know. But I'm just developing my pieces normally. It makes a lot of sense. Queen c2, I'm still not ready to play bishop h4, right? I still need to protect this pawn. So like queen c2, and I need to get this guy over, and then I'll play bishop h4. So okay, a4, not a great move. My opponent played queen c7, which is iffy, I would say. And I played an iffy move back. I played queen d2. And my idea was, you know, I'll guard the e-pawn with the queen so that my bishop can move either to g3 or h4. Now g3 comes with a tempo. So here, yeah, queen d2 is probably not best. Although I will say, after queen c2, the position's a little bit strange, because say if I go bishop c6, black goes bishop c6. Oh, actually, okay, I'm not ready to go bishop c6. But say like queen c2, c4, bishop f5, bishop c6. Here, I don't really want to move the a rook because the a file is about to open. So this is a little bit confusing. I'm not sure I want to play rook a1 because, you know, the a file is about to snap open, and I wish my rook was on a1, right? C takes d. C takes d is almost always... Oh, sorry. I think, in my opinion, c takes d is almost always bad for black. And the reason is the structure is very sad for him. a4, say he goes c takes here. The problem with this structure is it makes all of his minor pieces bad. This bishop is very bad in this structure. This knight is terrible in this structure. This knight can never go anywhere. Oh, you probably meant when the queen's on c2, actually, abusing the pin of the knight. Because after b5, well, I can still take it, actually. Yeah, this isn't working. The pawn just hangs. And the problem you have is that, like, this piece is terrible, this piece is terrible, this piece is pretty bad. At some point, I'll play b3 to lock down the c4 square. I think the structure is just, like, close to winning for white. Queen c2 instead of a4. Oh, okay. Yes, so this is interesting. here I'll go a3. And again, I think this structure is just very bad for black. The problem is these pieces are very bad. You can go knight b6, but I'll eventually play b3 and kick you out. Maybe not right away, but eventually I'll play b3 and kick you out. Go something like rook e1. This rook will come over here, and I'll be a happy camper as white. Yeah, you'll get your knight to c4, but you know, b3 will kick you out at some point. I have active pieces. This bishop will come out. My bad bishop is much better than your bad bishop, and I have another bishop. So this feels very good for white. I would be happy to play this. Okay, queen d2, maybe not best. My opponent closed it down with c4, bishop f5, and bishop c6. And here I realized that I probably have been playing a little bit inaccurately, because my opponent is ready to play b5, and he's really going to take the initiative on the king's side. Like, say I play some random move, or queen side, excuse me. b5, takes, b4 is coming. And this already feels like black is rolling on the queen side. So here I had a long thing. And I think I came up with a good move here. So what would you play as white here? Let's come up with an idea for white in this position. Bishop g3, queen b7. So the problem is, if you go e4, he's hanging, right? So in this position, you don't have this protected enough. It's protected 3 times. It's attacked 5 times. So yeah, you got your bishop to d6. But here I think you might have some issues. Well, first of all, you just gave me a pawn, right? But the thing is, after, say, bishop d6, even if you get in g4, g5, no, that's not a pawn's word, you're still not ready to play e4. Because I just have so much killing you on e4. So say oh sorry, rook e8, g4, b5, let's go, right? And I think black, again, has that initiative. It's very annoying. You can't go g5 here. It's just not going to work. You have nothing. So bishop g3 coming around. It's very attractive. This bishop is very attractive. Doesn't really do much, however. Like, my next move is going to be b5. It's sort of like, what did we accomplish, really? So I did not play bishop g3. I definitely thought about it, though. I definitely thought about playing bishop g3. b3. I'll take it. What's your idea? All of you like giving me mad pawns. B3 is a pawn, I think. You've got nothing there. You're playing for tricks. I'll play queen b7. Yeah, but okay, even if you win it back, I made a pass pawn on the queen side. I don't. believe in that variation. Bishop g3. We looked at this. Are you going to follow it up with something that's not bishop d6? So yeah, rook e1 I definitely considered. Probably this rook. The problem is takes. Here, this is very annoying. You want to go a rook? Okay, let's go a rook. Which I don't know. I'm not sure about bringing the a rook if the a line's opening, but okay. The problem is you're still not ready to play e4. Actually, maybe hold on. Let me think. No, okay. I'm gonna Maybe you are. Give me a second. I was counting on this, but I didn't realize I'm hanging h6 actually, because I wanted to pull a defender off of this. But I mean, you can even take this maybe. Okay, that's interesting. Here maybe I have to go g6. I'll delay b5 just a little bit. But then again, just takes, you know, something takes, and e4 hits this pawn. Okay, that's a reasonable try. Oh yeah, that was my idea. Thank you, in the face for reminding me. After takes, if you go e4, I have b4 now. That's the point. Thank you. That's the idea here. b4, c takes en passant. Oh no, black plays b4 here, and this is no good. This is putting the question to the e4. It's so rook e1 is a natural move, but you've let black take too much on the queen side, and now you're just too late. Black has the initiative, right? I mean, you can take, but actually I just take here. I win a piece. Rough, right? I saw bishop h4 suggested. This is an interesting suggestion. You're actually pinning both knights. Yeah, bishop h4 is probably a good move. As black, I would go here. And my point is I want to take a pawn. Bishop h4 is maybe not a good move, actually. Yeah, rook ce8 is a very good move in this position. It's sort of a double threat. It allows this knight to recapture and threatens the e3 pawn. And I'm not sure white has a whole lot. I will give you what I played. Here, after probably 25 minutes of thought. Oh, you can take both knights there. You're right. But I don't know if that's good enough. You can take this, it's true. And take here. Maybe I'll be okay with this as black, though. I don't know, this bishop is really stupid. This looks pretty good for black, I'll give you that. But I'll show you what I played. I think this is a good move. Again, I haven't engine checked this, so I don't know. But I think I played a good move here. I played e4. What? What is this? I'm giving my pawn away, right? Well, I have incredibly concrete reasons for playing e4 here. Very, very concrete reasons. And it has to do with, like, it's very strange why this works. And it has to do with how weirdly all of black's pieces are placed. Oh, you said e4, I'm sorry. I missed it. I missed it, Z-Fox. That's my fault. So, yeah, my idea was, after takes, I'm not going to recapture and lose all my pawns. I'm going to play, e4 takes d5. And if you move the bishop, your pieces are so poorly placed, I have d6 with a fork. What is that? This is like so bizarre. This like tactical sequence. When I saw this, I was like, this can't be real. Because it just has to do with how strangely all of Black's pieces are placed. Note that Black can try some funny business. So I had to spend a long time calculating this, because here I actually calculated e3. Hello, Gambit. So after e3, it gets very interesting. Bishop takes e3. You can try rook e3, but this is actually an exchange sacrifice. Here, White has an exchange for the pawn, but White has just really simple ideas. I think White is close to winning here. So White is just better. After e3 takes, you can also go and take forever here. But the problem here is you want to go rook e3, but your knight on d7 hangs at the end. Very annoying. So I sort of saw these ideas, and then I saw e3, and I was like, oh, this isn't working because there's like my queen is a little bit overloaded. But actually, both variations work in my favor for suspicious reasons. Yeah, this is a game I actually played yesterday at the club. I was playing a candidate master, and I found this nice move here. The e4 break is working because you can't take because d5 comes, and I actually win in all variations. Monkey's bum? I don't know what that is. So my opponent, I think, saw this after e4, and he played queen b7. But now I'm just better. The opening? Is suspicion a sign of a good chess player? I don't know. Also, I'm definitely not a good chess player. So, you know, take it for what you will. So here, I got everything I wanted. e4 is really hanging now, so I played e5. And that knight is a little sad. That knight really has nowhere to go. He played knight h7, which is reasonable. Good players say bad stuff is suspicious. That's funny. Yeah, knight h7, I mean, what else, right? So here, but here my initiative is telling, right? Black hasn't even achieved b5 yet. So I think e4 was a really good move. It just let me take over the initiative before he got rolling on the queen side. Here I played bishop h4, which I think is a good move. If he plays f6 or g5, I'm really happy to see that, because I'm about to checkmate him. So playing either one of those moves will help me checkmate him. So he played rook e8. And again, I have to sort of stop and reevaluate this position, because I've sort of achieved my big break, and now I have to figure out what I'm going to do next. So let's have some suggestions for White in this position. Notice that in the last position, if he played knight g5, f4 just wins the knight, or the exchange. No, actually, I think the whole knight. So I made a lot of progress over the last few moves, but I got to keep making progress. So what do we do here? Rook e1 and e6 is definitely an idea. It's more common to go like f4, f5, f6, but rook e1 followed by e6 is certainly interesting. Queen c2 is also an idea, just saying, putting a question to this knight. However, I think after knight f8, the knight sort of wants to do this. I think the knight does want to go to f8 at some point. Yeah, rook e1, maybe knight f8 is still good. I saw the move f4 said. f4 is definitely a good move. And this is sort of in keeping of what we saw in the Botvinnik games, right? Botvinnik went f4, f5, and then he had these massive pawns, right? So here I could go f4, think about going bishop h3, f5, f6. That would definitely be a good idea. g4 is interesting. I would definitely start with, if you're going to go storming, I would definitely start with f4. Bishop c2 to push f-pawn. I think I'd rather play I'd rather play like queen c2. Like, I think if I'm gonna push my f-pawn, the idea I would play was queen c2, knight f8. Let's go f4, and I'll put my bishop on h3. That's how I would play this. And I think this is a good idea. In fact, this might even be better than the idea I played in the game. I'm not sure. Again, I haven't looked at this with a computer, so I can't tell you the computer evaluation. But this position just looks really good for white, right? White has more space in the center. He has a quick kingside initiative. He has a nice battery. He has two bishops. Everything looks good for white. In the initial position, I continue to play incredibly concretely. I found this nice move, e4, right, based on tactics. Here, if you go rook e1, knight f8 sort of puts the kibosh on e6, right? So instead, I went e6. Boom! What's my point? It's a pawn, right? Am I giving away my pawns for nothing? I like this move. I was happy about this move. What am I doing? It's a free pawn, right? It's Iago's job to give away my pawns? Yeah, Iago's really good at that. Pawn takes is forced, and I'm winning an exchange. The rook is trapped. It's some strange. So this rook that went to e7 gave black incredible headaches. Because this rook was the subject of a tactic behind e4, and again it's the subject of a tactic behind e6. But I just want to point out, the fact that I won an exchange, I'm still not convinced this is better than just playing for like the attack. Like, I think winning the exchange for a pawn, maybe this position is just better than winning the exchange for the pawn. I'm not sure. Yeah, but the thing is, like, This is very materialistic, and you'll see I knew it when I played it. This does allow black to take the initiative. So I'm giving up the initiative and the attack in order to win material, which worked out in the game, but I'm just not sure it's best. I don't really know. Material is always good, but sometimes the initiative is more important, and especially because it's just an exchange. And I think higher rated players really understand that exchanges are not that important. He has one pawn for the exchange and an initiative. So I think black is not doing terribly here. Knight e5? Here I'm okay. I'll take this. Actually, yeah, I'll just take this. I win a piece, actually. It's an interesting try, but I have an intermezzo. And here I'll take the knight. No, I wouldn't play bishop takes f8. Bishop takes f8 gives him what he wants with that variation. After knight e5, bishop takes f8, he's going to go knight takes here. Very annoying. But after bishop takes h7, I win a piece. Knight e5 is interesting. It's not something I considered during the game. Yeah, so I did create an e6 weakness, which is why my opponent's next move was correct. He played e5. He can't save his rook, right? So, queen takes e7. Oh, you're probably right. Okay, so I would take on h7 and take on f8. Yeah, that wins. I still take on h7, then I take on f8, and if you take the bishop, I take on e5. So yeah, e5 is a good move from my opponent. He's going to lose the rook no matter what, and he makes the correct decision. He's forcing me to trade my good bishop for the rook. He doesn't want me to give my dark square bishop for the rook, because my dark square bishop is terrible, but my light square bishop is very good. So he's forcing me to take with the light square bishop. He also introduces opposite colored bishops, and he starts an initiative in the center with e5. And this is annoying, because after e5, he's actually going to create a 4-on-2 majority on the queen side. And the 4-on-2 can roll a little bit, whereas my 3-on-2 on the king side is just not going anywhere, right? So I have to play a little bit carefully here, because his initiative is dangerous. Who am I? My name is Quirked. I am a USCF expert. I'm around 2100 USCF. So I know something, but not a lot. And yeah, that's who I am. So I took the rook, because I played this, I might as well take the rook. Rook takes e8. And I think it's really important to play accurately here. I think it's very easy to lose this position as white. Yes, that is... I'm not giving out my full name on the internet, although I do it all the time, because I'm an idiot. In like PGMs or whatever. So it's really important to play accurately here. What would you play as white? White has to play accurately here, or else black is going to really start steamrolling this majority. Quirked. It's my online name. So if you go bishop g3, I'm taking here. You have no compensation. Like now white is just like lost practically. Rook e1, not sure which one. Yeah, Quirked is just my online handle. Yeah, you have to put a rook on e1. I played the f rook. This f rook's not doing anything. I'm never going to play f4. So I played the f rook. This a rook could come to life on the a line. Rook e1 is important because taking is really bad. You don't want to allow any d4. Yeah, I don't like playing this rook over here. Then the f rook doesn't really get to have any fun. The f rook's not doing much here. This a rook has a future on the a line. I think it's much stronger to put the f rook onto e1. I didn't really want to take. Taking just invites his pieces in. Yeah, you can go rook e1, but after, I don't know, something, queen b8. This rook is defended. Oops. The rook is defended twice, actually. Hold on. I have... Ooh, that's a square and a half. I'm not making anything work there yet. But here I could at the very least go knight d3. I think that knight is worth a rook, honestly. I would be very annoyed if this came in. Yeah, knight d3 is really strong here for black. I don't think I have much advantage here. So I don't like taking. I just play rook e1. And the point is he can't take, it's pinned. So my opponent played queen a8. He defended his rook. And I think it's important to still be accurate here. Let's keep going. What should white play now? Bishop f2. This is something I looked at. I didn't end up playing it. But it definitely has... It's well-intentioned, I'll call it. I think that this has the right idea, right? Because if black captures, all of a sudden this bishop comes to a really nice square. The only thing is I don't think black will capture here. I think black will improve his pieces, probably knight on h2, f6 or something. And maybe on a good day I'll play e4 and sort of keep this genie in the bottle, as they say. Yeah, bishop g3 is what I played. And as the crowds are saying, this is forcing him to take, which he doesn't want to do. Really, he wants me to take. What blocks the queen's activity a lot? Yeah, so bishop g3 I think is a nice move. He sort of has to take. He can play queen b8, but then he's pinned like a lot of different ways. That's a little scary. Like, maybe I can take this, actually, and say that you're gonna regret this one. Yeah, like, you know, like... okay, I should be careful about knight f3. No, here is fine. And I'm winning a piece, right? I just don't see how you save this piece. So, you can't protect the pawn. You have to take. I understand. Gotcha. So here, again, continued accuracy. I throw this in. And hey, that's a rook showing up to the party. Tempo moves, right? And my point is, his queen has no moves that defend this pawn. So he played queen f7, and now I take the pawn. And if we look, I think I'm doing okay here. I've sort of handled his initiative well. The reason being, I'm up the exchange, and sometimes that's not very good, because sometimes the minor pieces are really active, and the rook isn't very active. But here, his knights are on d7 and h7, his bishop's on c6, and my rook's on a beautiful open file. Yeah, so I got the e-file anyway, though, without playing rook e3, because I can win this tempo with rook e1. So, yeah, I mean, maybe rook e3 is fine, I don't know. It's possible. I'm not saying that my moves are only moves, or that they're even the best move. I'm not sure. I just think they were logical moves. I try and play logical chess. So yeah, here I think I'm doing fine because my rook is really active. This bishop is bad, but it actually turned out to be an okay bishop, especially because this pawn is gone. Now this bishop has a lot of potential. And I kind of have a firm blockade on his queenside majority. And currently I'm threatening... No, sorry, I'm not threatening to take this. That's ridiculous. But he has some issues here. Well, I just... Sometimes I see people playing... Maybe I shouldn't say logical, I should say principled. Because sometimes people don't play principled chess. And I think it gets them in trouble. The issue he really has here is he has two knights, and they only have like one square. So it's really hard for him to move his pieces anywhere, because he needs both his knights to go to f6, and they can't. He put his h knight on f6, and the reason is maybe this knight can actually go to c5. That would be a nice square. So again, I think I played really accurately in this ending. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. The principled? I don't know, man. Yago's joking, by the way. So yeah, Black's threatening to go knight c5, and on a good day, Black will just straight up take my a-pawn. And so again, I just played sensible chess. Bishop d6. No knight c5 for you. This bishop is really, really strong. And hey, all of a sudden I start having ideas of like rook e7. Where'd he come from? So I have really active ideas in this position. Now Black played queen g6, which I think is a good move. And his point is, say I go like rook e7. I'm actually not threatening anything, because this knight does a good job blocking. So now Black can activate like queen c2, and this is a little shaky, right? So this is... Black got a lot of activity here. So queen g6 is sort of discouraging this rook from coming up the file. But I think I found a nice move here. Let me ask, what would you play for white? This is going to be one of the last puzzles of the game. What should white play here? Trade the bishop for a knight. Ah, yes, bishop takes d7. Good move. How would you do it? Trading bishops for knights, it's a good idea, but you got to make it happen, right? Rook e2 is fine, right? You know, I'm just going to squeeze you forever. I'm trying to think how Black can improve his position. It's certainly not simple. The problem is Black actually has really no active plans. You can go b5, but you're not threatening b4. So after rook e2, I wouldn't even go b5. Maybe like queen f5. Yeah, it's hard, right? I think rook e2 is a good move because it's just a slow improving move, and black can't really do anything. Yeah, the problem with knight e2 is that a4 is hanging. And funnily enough, I was critical of a4, right? Well, imagine this pawn was on a3. I would have so much more flexibility in this endgame. And so I think a4 was a bad move, and it's showing even here. Bishop e7 is what I played in the game. I think it's a good move. And the point is, I'm going to take f6, and you're going to have some real problems if I take on f6. First thing to notice, this pawn is hanging if the knight moves. Second thing to notice, this pawn is hanging if there's not a knight on f6. So, for example, if it's my move, I'll go takes. On knight takes, I'll take b6. Takes on, say, pawn takes, I'll grab d5. So this idea of going bishop e7 takes f6 is really annoying because black just has issues coordinating his position. If you go knight h5, hello, you've hung a pawn, and that's a really important pawn. And I keep you out of f4. Very sad for you. No, I mean it's the right idea, right? Because black doesn't want to allow this capture, but he sort of has to. That's what's so good about this maneuver for white, is that black doesn't really have any choice. Yeah, that's what I'm getting to. The other threat behind bishop e7 is I've opened the 6th rank. So now rook e6 is a very serious idea. We'll see this in the game. My opponent played queen f5, and he played queen takes, and here I go rook e6. And it's sort of like, what do you do? He played bishop d7. And here I showed some really good technique, I thought. It's not, like, this isn't a hard position. White is totally winning. But I was very clean. Rook takes b6, I think, is a mistake. Because on rook takes b6, you've allowed d4. And all of a sudden, black is rolling a little bit. So, instead, I played, I believe much more accurately, rook d6. And now you're in trouble. Oh, you're saying instead of bishop d7, you go d4? Nah, because I'm going to take this, right? And I'm going to win all your queenside pawns? Yeah, so rook d6 is just a huge problem for him. And my point is, I'm just going to take this pawn. That's the more important pawn. You can't protect this pawn. My rook is just totally dominating the bishop. He played bishop e8, and his idea is to win the a4 pawn. After taking on d6, on b6, look, I'm not saying it's not winning for white. But here, what's your line? d3, knight c3. So in here, can I go c3? No, that's too wacky. Yeah, that's not going to work. I mean, you're right. This is winning. I agree with you. I agree that this just absolutely wins for white after d3 or c3. So I think rook takes b6 is fine. However, rook d6 is just really clean. Bishop e8 he's going to take the a4 pawn, but it doesn't matter. Takes, takes, takes. Here he played badly. He should play bishop takes a4 and rook b6 and play this ending, but he's just lost, right? My king comes here, and then I just sack on b5 and I win the king and pawn. Knight c3, knight d5, I take it. It doesn't work. I looked at this, but you just won't queen. Yeah, but you have nothing here, right? Takes, rook d2, or rook d6. And I just have a piece. So yeah, he played b5, which is actually inaccurate. And I played a really good move here. Rook d6, right? My point is, I'm going to force him to adopt split pawns instead of connected pawns. So he has to take, and then I take his a pawn, and now he has an even worse ending because his pawns are split. And the game only lasted 4 more moves. The other problem he has is his king is cut, so it's just totally lost. And here my opponent resigned. It's just hopeless. If he goes bishop e6, I just go here, and I'll take the pawn. No, he didn't cry. He's past the age of crying. He's like 15, and he's a candidate master, right? So which means he's played a whole lot of games, which means he's used to losing. I don't think he was happy because he outrated me by like probably 100 points. So it's always tough to lose to someone who's lower rated than you. But I mean, he played really fast. That's something kids do. They play really, really fast. He probably needed to take more time because he let me get a good position out of the opening. And then even though I played sort of suspiciously in the middle game, I found like really nice moves when I counted. And I found the key ideas, and I wouldn't have found them if it hadn't been for these Botvinnik and Larson games that I knew. I actually knew these games. Here, this a4 was meh. But after c4, I remembered the Larson game, and I tried to remember the ideas that Botvinnik played in this game. And I knew that I had to go for a quick e4, and I managed to tactically justify it. Would my opponent say, well, it's in a tournament hall, so we don't really get to talk. Yeah, we didn't really talk. He didn't seem like he wanted to talk to me. I mentioned that he could give the exchange after this move, but yeah, he just sometimes when people lose, they're upset or annoyed, and they just don't want to talk about it, and I respect that. I can be frustrated after a tough loss. It's very natural. Losing sucks. So yeah, I found this nice e4 based on these ideas. Well, I had to calculate this one because this was really tactically justified. And then e6, or yeah, e6. That wasn't really an idea I knew. That was just me having a kind of cool idea. And bishop g6, and I win the exchange. And then, yeah, just making sure black doesn't get the initiative. I really respected black's initiative here. He has a strong queen side. So you have to play accurately or else black's just going to run you over. Anyway, I was happy with this game. And it really shows the importance of, within your opening repertoire, knowing Grandmaster games. Am I going to enter check this analysis? No, because I want to... okay, I'll do it. I was going to go over it by myself at some point, but I can enter check this online. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, h6, bishop h4. Yeah, it's not a huge fan of my opening play here. It's giving minus 0.1. Bishop f2, I agree, wasn't a great move. It likes knight f5. It likes this little knight sortie I've thrown in. When was I out of book? Really early, actually. B6 is not very common. This was, I had to start thinking around here. I've never really faced B6 before. Yeah, B6 I was out of book. It's probably not very good. His idea is to play, it has an interesting idea. His idea is to play C5 in one move, because normally you play C6 and then C5, but he wants to play C5 in one move, so okay. Bishop F2. Yeah, it likes this knight F5 move. I thought that was a good move. Take the bishop. It's okay with A4. I don't like A4, but okay, sure. Queen C7. It's okay with Queen D2. I have a feeling I could do kind of anything and be better, because the bishops are really strong. C4, it really doesn't like that move. That doesn't surprise me. It sort of it sort of closes down Black's counterplay on the center. Bishop F5. Bishop C6. Yeah, E4, it loves it. Plus 1.5 here. The best move. Yeah, we looked at that. If I go knight F5, after knight F5, if he goes bishop F8, then this is problematic. It's really a double attack on A7 and D6. Tough. So yeah, it really likes this E4. I'm glad I found it, otherwise I might be worse. E5. Bishop H4. It's giving +2. Yeah, E6 gives away a lot of the advantage. I'm not surprised. It's very materialistic. Let's see what it wants to do. Oh, it loves B3. What? I thought this was total BS. No way. No way. It loves B3. Were we looking at it in this position? No, we looked at it way back here. Here, B3, it still likes B3. Okay, I apologize. Whoever I said I thought B3 was bad, the engine says B3 is a great move. Queen C2 here, it gives us +1, so it throws away some of the advantage. E6 also throws away some of the advantage, the move I played. Let me look at F4. F4 is +2 as well. F4 is also very, very strong. Yeah, I almost played F4. I knew E6 was materialistic. I suspected it might not be the best move. Why is B3 good? Let's find out. It just says I'm going to eat your queenside, I think. You know what? I think B3 gained in strength with the queen on B7. Because now rook takes B3, I have threats of maybe like A5. Yeah, it's just going to go for that pawn. Yeah, that's a good idea. I discounted it. Yeah, this like, I think I like briefly went like, B3, nah, ridiculous. Yeah, that's something that Botvinnik is really good at. Is Botvinnik doesn't really race. He's just like, okay, I'll win over here, and then I'll win over here, and then I'll win in the center, and then you're never doing anything anywhere. But yeah, here I think f4 is very natural. It's a good move. Ooh. Yeah, I'm not playing knight a2. What happens if... Well, more natural to me is knight e2. Doesn't like that as much. Yeah, it goes b4. But still, this must be good. And, you know, here comes f5. Yeah. When can you watch me again? I post most of my streams on Slack and Twitter. So you can follow my Twitter at ChessLeagueTV. And if you join the LightChess4545 Slack, then I post all my streams in a channel called Chess League TV on that Slack. No, yeah, knight e2 makes a lot of sense. It's just probably not something I would have thought of. It's a good move, don't get me wrong. It makes so much sense. I just can't really imagine myself playing that in a real game. So yeah, let's see what happens. e6 takes, bishop g6, e5. It really, oh wow, it doesn't like e5. I thought that was a good move. What's it want to play? That one, huh? Yeah, it's going to try and activate this bishop. Okay, that makes some sense. This bishop's going to come around to like g6 or something. Yeah, that makes a little bit more sense. But, you know, this pawn is weak. I'm still better. Okay, e5. Takes. Rook e1, yep. Queen e8, bishop g3, yep. Takes. It doesn't want to take. It just gives the pawn. Okay, I'll take it, right? It didn't like this as much. It wants to go knight f8. That makes some sense with the idea of going knight to e6. That I can understand quite a bit, actually. That might have been annoying. Yeah, this is a reasonable try. Knight f8 is a good move. Because the problem is when the knight lands on e6, d4 starts coming. I would have to think a little bit here. Yeah. Oh, whoa. Why not here? What's the problem? I think I'm going to end up with a mating attack or something. Yeah, I have... You have some issues, actually. Of, like, mating ideas coming. Yeah, this is confusing. I'll give you that. But I have... man, I have, like, knight e4 now. Yeah, that's pretty scary. Okay. Bishop d6. Bishop e7. Yeah, it's starting to announce like +3, which means white is just winning here. Yeah, +4. So yeah, my play was logical. The only thing to look at, that e6 moment wasn't so great. And maybe I was a little bit inaccurate in the opening. But other than that, I played quite well, I thought. Knight on d to c5. Oh, that's interesting. Let me go there 1 second. No, before this. Knight e6, queen g4, knight on d to c5. My engine spiked, which means you blundered. Let me figure out why. I want to solve this. I'm going to do it. You have some issues, no? trying to solve this. Why is this so bad? Oh, queen c1. Yeah. Yikes. Oh yeah, I don't know that. Yikes. Wow, that's really bad. Who knew? I didn't see any of this during the game. Yeah, knight hf8. That would have been a good move. But yeah, a nice game. Yeah, that's all I have. That's the sort of the rundown of the main ideas of the exchange Queen's Gambit declined. And I would encourage you, if you have sort of a consistent opening repertoire, find some Grandmaster games, find some like instructive Grandmaster games in the line. Because those ideas, you won't always remember your move orders or everything, but if you just know like the ideas of the opening, that's enough to get you there. Here I faced like a weird move order from my opponent, but I handled it okay, and I got my main ideas of the opening, and that was good. So yeah, learn those ideas for your openings. Anyway, I'm going to sign off because I've been streaming for like 3 hours. But thank you all for watching. Like I said, if you're interested in catching streams, I usually post on Twitter when I'm streaming. And I also post in the Light Chess 4545 League Slack. So if you're interested in joining the league, it just started actually. Go to lightchess4545.com. Thank you, Archon, for staying the whole time. I'm impressed. It's like 3 hours of your day. Yeah, so if you're interested in joining the league or anything like that, go to that website. It's pretty cool. I'll share with you the study. Oh, also, if you are interested, in the if you're interested in more exchange QGD stuff, John Bartholomew has a great video on a game he played in this line. It's called John Bartholomew versus Matthew Dahl. I almost covered this game on stream, but John Bartholomew already made this awesome video on it, and I didn't want to like steal his views and his content, so I just recommend going and watching his video because he does a great video on it. So yeah, if you are interested in this opening, you like playing d4, go check out his video. It's really logical. I think I like watching John Bartholomew because his play makes a lot of sense, and I just like sensible players. Anyway, that's all. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you enjoy it.